This is Southern New England's trusted news source, Good Morning Providence.
Tragedy in one socket. A man and woman both found dead in their home in what's being investigated as a murder-suicide. What we're learning about the couple from police. And defunding the police. A rallying call made throughout the country. How Providence City Councilors voted on a list of resolutions to reform the department. Good morning and thank you for joining us. Happy Friday. I'm Jon Meterparel. Doreen Scanlon has the day off. It's Friday, June 19th. Another beautiful day on tap. Chelsea Priest, we have a pleasant situation to talk about. Our top story this hour, the city of Providence taking a big step towards reforming the police department. The city council passed several resolutions last night that will scrutinize the department's training procedures and pension program. Good morning, Providence reporter Scott Cook is live outside police headquarters with more. Hey, Scott, good morning. Providence City Councilors also passed other 9 non-binding resolutions last night. One of them urged the General Assembly to repeal the Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights, which has been criticized as a tool to protect officers accused of misconduct. The other resolution calls on the General Assembly to remove N Providence Plantations from the end of the official state name, leaving only the state of Rhode Island. The name change requires a constitutional change, meaning voters would have to approve it. The resolution passed in the Senate last night. It now heads to the House. Breaking overnight, a motorcycle accident in Fall River. The rider thrown from his bike and over a bridge embankment. It happened around 11:30 on Route 6 at the Veterans Memorial Bridge. According to police, the motorcycle rider was driving from Somerset into Fall River at the time of the crash. When first responders arrived, they found the rider conscious and alert under the bridge. He's hospitalized with unknown injuries, and the accident remains under investigation. Police in Woonsocket are investigating a murder-suicide. Officers were called to the Social Street School Apartments Thursday afternoon for a wellness check. They found 43-year-old Charles Johnson and 44-year-old Tanya Gagnon, both dead from gunshot wounds. Family members sent us pictures of Gagnon, who police believe was the victim. We're told the two had been in a relationship for 3 years and lived together in the apartment since March. They had no reported history of abuse or domestic-related incidents. And a Massachusetts man arrested for the murder of a former school nurse in Braintree heads to court today. Police say 61-year-old Robert Bonang posed as a UPS driver and shot 59-year-old Laurie Melchionda. According to police, Bonang used to live in the same neighborhood, and they believe it was a targeted attack. ABC6 covering news at the State House this morning. The General Assembly passed a supplemental budget to keep the state going for the next couple of weeks as we finish out the fiscal year. The budget reallocates about $120 million from the state's rainy day fund. The proposal faced some opposition in the House, with Republican and Democratic members saying there was not enough of a process or time to read the bill. Ultimately, the majority of members voted to pass it. Yesterday was the last meeting for the General Assembly. At least for now, they're waiting to see what more stimulus funding they'll get from the federal government. They are planning to come back and work on the 2021 fiscal budget in July. Now to an ABC6 update on a data breach at a local hospital group. We're learning the IT issue impacting Care New England's computer system will affect employee paychecks. We're told it will only impact those who get paper checks, not those who use direct deposit. Paychecks this week will be the same amount as last week, even if employees work more hours due to the payroll system shutdown. The hospital continues to stress that most patient care has not been directly affected. Still to come on Good Morning Providence, we bring you a list of events happening across the state today in honor of Juneteenth. Plus, let the church bells ring. A local pastor fighting back against racial injustice, now calling on other churches across Rhode Island to join him. Welcome back. It's 6:11. You are looking live at the city of Providence with our Skycam HD. Temps mild now. They'll get warmer as the day goes on, hitting the high 80s, and Chelsea will have her forecast in just a minute. But first, as summer is about to kick off, people are taking advantage of Middletown's beach cameras. The cameras were installed 3 years ago at Second Beach. And lately, there have been so many people checking on them, the town said there's been some lagging. The town's website says that people can use the cameras to check on parking availability and surf conditions. Some said they'll be using the cameras for other reasons, to stay safe from COVID-19. And if you want to check out the cameras, you can check them out on our website at abc6.com. A local pastor calling on all churches in Rhode Island to ring their bells for 8 minutes tonight to mark Juneteenth. Fred Evenson, a reverend at Peacedale Congregational Church in South Kingstown, says it's a way to commemorate George Floyd's death and racial injustice. Evenson asking churches to start ringing their bells to signify the amount of time a Minneapolis police officer had his knee on George Floyd's neck. Several events are planned today in honor of Juneteenth, which marked Emancipation Day for the remaining enslaved people during the Confederacy. Local events follow weeks of protests, standing with the Black Lives Matter movement. There will be a youth-led protest at the State House at 4 and another one at 5 in Westerly. Roger Williams Park will hold a virtual celebration on Facebook Live starting at 7. Now to the latest on the coronavirus. Rhode Islanders will learn more about Phase 3 guidelines today from Governor Raimondo. Right now, the state is 2 weeks into Phase 2. Most businesses are open with limitations, including social distancing and mask wearing. Meanwhile, starting today, restaurants on Federal Hill will be given more outside dining space. Sections of Atwells Avenue will be closed to traffic so that restaurants could add more outside tables. The idea first proposed by the Federal Hill Commerce Commission to help struggling restaurants. Some residents of Federal Hill say they're not on board and that no one asked them for their input. So far, 21 restaurants have said they'll take advantage of the extra space. They'll be allowed to do this on Friday and Saturday nights until October. New York City will officially enter Phase 2 of reopening on Monday. Restaurants will be allowed to serve customers at outdoor tables, and the move could ultimately save 5,000 restaurants and add up to 45,000 jobs. New York has seen a decrease in COVID-19 infections over the last few weeks, but Governor Cuomo is concerned that people in states with rising cases could travel to New York and start an increase in cases all over again. Still to come on Good Morning Providence as the 4th of July draws closer, complaints of illegal fireworks surge across the country. And Ian Steele talks with New Bedford's Jared Schuster, the newly signed first-round pick of the Atlanta Braves. You're watching ABC6, Southern New England's trusted news source. Stay with us. Welcome back at 6:21. As the 4th of July approaches, complaints about illegal fireworks are surging across the country. ABC's Eva Pilgrim has the details in today's GMA First Look. Smoltz, Maddox, Glavin, just a few of the names you think about when talking about the Atlanta Braves and their pitching staff. New Bedford native Jared Schuster could become the next great one for the organization. Here's ABC6 sports reporter Ian Steele with more. Coming up on Good Morning Providence, both officers involved in the killing of Rashard Brooks have turned themselves in while one is expected in court. Hear from what his partner on what happened that night. And a Rikers Island inmate caught after a failed escape attempt into the East River. You're watching ABC6, Southern New England's trusted news source. Stay with us.
This is Southern New England's trusted news source, Good Morning Providence.
Welcome back to Good Morning Providence. It's 6:30. Happy Friday. You're taking a live look at Providence with our HD Skycam. Chelsea Priest has been very happy all week because she's had good news. Chelsea, it's been kind of boring. New details in the murder of a black man by police in Atlanta. The officer charged with the murder of Rashard Brooks is expected in court later today as the other officer involved in the case is speaking out on what happened that night. ABC's Alex Perche has more from Washington. Political news, U.S. Attorney General William Barr made an unannounced visit to Boston yesterday to meet with Police Commissioner William Gross. Gross then received criticism for accepting the visit from a member of President Trump's cabinet. Attorney General Barr left in an official government plane, as you see, before boarding. He posed for a photo with some of the Boston officers and state police troopers besides the plane. It's your voice, your vote. The countdown is on in Milwaukee, the site of the Democratic National Convention, where Joe Biden will formally accept the presidential nomination. Due to the pandemic, the event will be scaled back. There will also be a major digital component. The chairman of the DNC says his team is following the guidance of public health officials, saying they have the flexibility to do what's necessary. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, President Trump is going forward with his rally in Tulsa Saturday. The mayor of Tulsa praised the president for choosing his city, but after announcing a record number of new cases, the city's health director is worried.
People coming together without taking precautions is what causes the virus to transmit. It gives the virus the ability to transmit from person to person. So, of course, we're concerned. You know, I recommended that it be postponed until it's safer.
Before entering the rally tomorrow, everyone must get a temperature check, hand sanitizer, and a mask, as well as sign a liability waiver acknowledging the health risks of attending and to not sue the Trump administration. Taking a look at national news, new details about an attempt escaped at New York's Rikers Island. Authorities say the inmate was in a recreational area when he climbed a fence and dove into the river trying to make a swim for it, heading towards LaGuardia Airport. 2 correctional officers nearby saw the attempted escape and dove in after him, catching the inmate and bringing him back into custody. The 2 correction officers seen here drying up were not seriously injured, but they did receive treatment for minor injuries to their legs. Jean Kennedy Smith, the last surviving sibling of President Kennedy, has passed away. She died at her home in Manhattan Thursday. President Obama presented Smith with the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2011 for her work with children with disabilities. She was known as the Quiet Kennedy, keeping a lower profile than her famous brothers and sisters. Jean Kennedy Smith was 92. In consumer news this morning, Cream of Wheat is the latest major food brand reviewing its logo. A spokesperson for B&G Foods says its packaging features the image of a black Chicago chef. The image replaced a mascot seen by many as a racist caricature. In a statement, the company said they don't want their brands unintentionally contributing to systemic racism. McDonald's, meantime, is beefing up staff this summer. The fast food chain says it's hiring 260,000 for full and part-time roles. It comes as McDonald's prepares to reopen its dining rooms after many were closed during the pandemic. And are you looking for work? Well, a reminder what we're doing here at ABC6 to help Southern New Englanders find jobs. It's called Who's Hiring? It's on our homepage. You'll find a list of companies looking to hire. For example, FedEx looking for package handlers at 2 different locations in Massachusetts. If you're interested, just click on the link to apply. Still to come on Good Morning Providence. Amusement parks in Massachusetts remain closed as we head into summer. Why Governor Baker says it will stay that way in the Bay State. And a new study that shows just 30 minutes of walking a day can decrease your chances of dying from cancer. Welcome back. Logan Airport has a long road ahead before it gets back to the number of passengers it had before the pandemic. State officials predict it could take 2 to 6 years for things to get back to the level it was. The COVID-19 outbreak dramatically slowed air travel, prompting figures for April and May that the Massport aviation director described as dismal. Airlines have started to schedule more flights out of the airport, with an uptick expected in mid-July, something Massport officials say is encouraging. As we start to head into the summer months, COVID-19 has kept normally packed amusement parks empty this time of year, and it doesn't appear they'll be opening anytime soon. Governor Baker has placed amusement parks in Phase 4 of reopening, and as of now, there is no start date for Phase 4 in the Bay State. When asked if he may consider, Governor Baker was clear he would not. Still, some parks like Agawam's Six Flags New England is preparing for an eventual reopening. They've installed new thermal imaging to take guest temperatures. They've also had a new security screening, and all guests, even as young as 2, will have to wear masks. In today's Focus on Your Health, your blood type may help determine just how likely you are to get COVID-19 and how sick it could make you. A team of scientists finding people with type O blood are 65% more likely to get the infection compared to people with other blood types. Those with type A blood are 45% more likely to get the virus compared to other blood types, but they're more likely to have severe symptoms. And get up and get moving. A new study suggests too much sitting could increase your risk of dying from cancer. Researchers found that those who spend more time sitting down had an 82% higher risk of dying from cancer, but that replacing 30 minutes of sitting with a low-impact activity like walking, well, that can reduce your risk by 8%. Coming up on GMA, the ABC News exclusive with former National Security Advisor John Bolton continues. He's responding to the president's attacks as we learn new details from that bombshell book. Why he fears a second Trump term as both sides get set to fight over the future of the book. That's all for now. Be sure to join us for ABC6 News at noon. I'm Jon Meterparel. Have a great day, everyone.